Man, I just went and took a piss in your bathroom.
Yeah.
And you got no mouthwash. Usually you have mouthwash up on the counter, but you're out. It's in the trash.
I literally ran out this morning.
Really?
I gargled it all down.
Usually I go in there and drink a little bit.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past you. I mean, I feel like that's a thing
Has my breath ever smelled minty fresh?
I mean, I've never, we're usually a good few inches apart.
Well, don't tell them that.
I know, yeah.
They think that we're pressed up against each other, all romantic, filming the podcast.
We could be. Cuddled up.
We should be.
We should be.
That's how you get the most intimate conversation.
That's very true.
Face to face.
Face to face.
Noses touching.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Perfect.
My arm is around you right now.
Yeah. Oh, you're squeezing my tit? Okay.
Trying to get the second base. Is that second base?
You're already there, Chief. You stole second base.
You're right.
Going for home.
Oh, yeah.
Home is sex, right?
I guess, yeah.
It's like a home run. I did it.
What's third base?
Third base is... Oh. Okay. First base is like smooching.
Yeah.
Second base is like...
Boob?
No.
Yeah.
Like making out.
Oh.
It's
like making out and boob.
But then what's third base?
Sex?
No, because that's home. Home run. That's the
blowjob.
I don't think those are separated within the baseball analogy.
So it's like smooching. Mm-hmm. I always thought it was like first base is like hand holding.
Yeah.
And then second base is like smooching. And then third base is like... Is that like oral?
I don't think that would get a base, right?
It
like
should.
That's home, right?
But
if you're there,
but it's not like sex.
But it's still sex.
Well, yeah, but it's like the pregame. It's the scrimmage.
Right, but so then even still, it wouldn't get its own base if it's the pregame.
I guess
that's like Danny DeVito comes out to pitch the first ball. That's like the kid with cancer gets a shout out at the beginning of the game.
Are you saying the blowjob comes before hand holding?
Yeah. That's how we did it. Welcome to the Off the Shelf Podcast. My name is Josh.
I'm Vinny. I'm Vinny.
What are we talking about, Vinny?
Oh, man.
I mean, not what are we what are we going to talk about?
I don't know what we're talking about. What we're going to talk about is this book.
Yeah.
So if you've been keeping up with us, each week of October, we've been doing a little Halloween special where we talk about certain scary books. First, we did Gideon Falls. So go find out why Gideon's falling. Go watch that video.
I started watching Gravity Falls again because of that show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then we did...
There's a character in there named Gideon.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like the little psychic kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And then we did Something is Killing the Children. So, go find out what's killing them, I guess. And then now we're going to talk about witches.
Just in general?
Yeah.
As a race? What do they consider?
I don't know. A people?
A species? No.
Species? I don't know.
No, they're just people.
They're just people.
People misled into the dark arts.
Of course. Anyone could be a witch.
Is it true? Can anyone be a witch? You don't have to be born with, witch blood?
I mean...
Because in some certain lores, you have to be.
True.
Like Halloween Town?
Yeah. I just watched Halloween Town the other day. Bro, Halloween Town is insane.
It is,
that movie's crazy.
It's very odd.
But witches...
Like prosthetics.
Yeah, me too.
You notice there's only one black person in that movie?
Is there?
Yeah, because everyone else was even the people wearing masks.
Yeah.
They've got white person hands. Maybe I wasn't looking hard enough.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I can't... You're right.
Is Halloween Town racist? I mean, that is inherently the plot of the first movie.
True, yeah.
Right? Except they're all kind of racist.
Towards humans.
Well, no, the humans are...
Racist.
Wait. Oh, I forget. Which way does it go?
I think...
They're kind of all towards each other.
Kinda.
Okay.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about Wytches by...
We're talking about a different Disney movie classic, Twitches, tonight. Where there's a pair of twins, and they're both witches.
Oh, God.
They live in a castle, I think.
So, Wytches is written by Scott Snyder and art by Jock. And this is the same...
No last name, just Jacques.
He's just Jacques. Or Jock.
Okay.
Because I think he's American.
Oh.
Oh, no, he might be English.
Name. If he was American, wouldn't his name be like Jack?
Probably.
John? Wait, what is Jacques?
I don't know. I think it's Jack. Jack.
Huh.
Yeah.
Just French accent, Jack.
Yeah. I think he might be English. I don't know.
Either way.
Whatever.
He helped with the book. What did he do? Art?
He did the art.
Okay.
And this is the same group, the same team that did Batman Black Mirror. And Scott Snyder has written Batman Court of Owls. A lot of Batman things. He's written Dark Knight's Metal and Justice League, whole bunch of things.
So this is going to be a wild book.
It's going to be a wild book. And if you like Scott Snyder and you haven't read this, definitely check it out. You could look through this. I'll let you look through it.
You know it that well.
Yeah, I mean, I reread it last night.
Oh, okay.
And I'll probably steal it back from you in a second. But
did Jacques do the cover here?
He probably did.
It looks really cool.
I remember when they first released the paperback of this, it was huge. Like, it wasn't like this size. It was like
this is standard.
That's like standard. They had it. It was big. If you have never read Wytches, I highly recommend it. I'm going to spoil the entirety of it.
It looks like Stephen King likes this book. He's got a quote on the front.
He does.
He says it's fabulous, period. A triumph, period.
Is he a writer?
Those aren't full sentences, Stephen.
But
who's your editor?
It's probably him.
Yeah.
So... I love this book. I think it's great. I would have to agree with Stephen King. It is fabulous, period. A triumph, period.
Wow.
And what?
No, just the first... I started looking through. The first couple pages are pretty intense.
Yeah, so Jock is crazy. His art style...
He's insane.
He's insane.
He's locked up in a mental hospital.
The way he draws, you think it, but then you see him, and he's like the most like sweet looking man ever.
It's crazy how he drew all this from the straitjacket.
I know, yeah. But
do they still use straitjacket? Not to derail.
No,
do they still use straitjackets?
I don't know. They probably do.
It's not like considered inhumane, or I don't know.
I
guess if they're like harmful to themselves or others, I guess that makes sense.
Let's go crazy.
But like padded rooms, they don't do that, right?
Yeah.
There's no way.
Why not?
Because that's terrible. You can't just lock someone in. That's not going to help them. I'm sure somewhere, probably in America, they still do it.
Yeah.
But...
It's called Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
So, Scott Snyder is one of my favorite writers. I feel like he has such a good, like, a vast knowledge of, like, architecture and world building, and he's great with characters and everything. Now, the plot of this book is very, like, it's like a horror movie. Family moves into a house, bad things happen. They find out secrets about the town. You know, that's the generic plot of it. But the way Scott Snyder writes it, it's crazy. It's really good. It really... What?
Was there a movie for this?
No.
Oh, never
But
mind.
this would be a perfect movie for Hollywood to fuck up.
Yeah.
You know? It's like...
Definitely.
It has all the stepping stones of a blockbuster PG-13 horror movie, even though it shouldn't be PG-13, but they want to sell more tickets.
It could be easy. Like, this book is rated R.
This book is...
just based off the visuals.
There is a few things in this book that are for sure rated R.
Do we need any
No.
warnings?
It doesn't go that far.
Okay.
But there is a scene...
It's like suggested.
We'll get to it. Okay. There is one scene that does, like... It's on the precipice of sexual assault.
Okay.
But...
So...
Yeah.
We'll do our best to be tasteful about that.
Yeah.
Why don't you take us through this book? Let's go through it.
So... What do you know about Wytches?
What do I know about Wytches?
Yeah, tell me every single
this book
thing.
that you just put in my hands that I've never seen before.
Yeah, no, just tell me what you know about any kind of witch.
Oh.
Scott Snyder's about to reinvent what a witch is.
See, you should have specified witches with an I. Not with
Yeah,
a Y.
my bad. This is spelled with a Y.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me what you know about witches?
I will tell you.
Perfect.
They are typically just people who have studied. Sometimes they're involved with satanic rituals. Sometimes it's just
Black
supernatural.
magic.
If it's like non-religious, it's usually just supernatural, ghost type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is that they are magical in a way. Not like Harry Potter magic where they've got wands and they're casting spells, but just that they can sort of manipulate reality to a certain degree.
Perfect. It's very different in this book. Like, you think of a witch, you think of like an
this
old
like
woman.
monsters. Yeah.
Yeah, you think of an old woman with like a big nose with a wart on it and a pointy hat and a broom. You know? Yeah,
sure.
like the Wizard of Oz.
Sometimes they've got a green face.
Oh yeah, that's the coolest version. But
I wonder where that came from.
I don't know.
Like it's just some style. Is that from Wizard of Oz? You think?
I think so.
Huh.
It might be. That movie was made in like 1875. So. Did you know it was like 1930, whatever?
During the witch trials.
During the witch trials, yeah. Someone was like, "Let me film it."
Yeah, some guy in Salem was like, this gives me an idea.
Did you know that the first Marvel DC publishing crossover was a Wizard of Oz comic adaptation?
Really?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with either of them?
Literally nothing.
I didn't even know there was a comic for Wizard of Oz.
There was, and it was published by both of them. For literally no reason. So...
Is it good?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
Why not?
Listen, if I find it in my local comic book store, I'll pick it up.
I mean, it's got to be just like the book,
It
right?
probably is.
Just illustrated?
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, so Witches begins with you're in the forest. Let me set the stage for you.
I'm ready.
You're in the forest.
Do you want me to close my eyes?
Close your eyes.
Okay, everyone at home, close your eyes. If you're driving, screw it.
So you're in the forest, a dark and scary forest, probably rainy. You hear crickets and shit. I don't know.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. There's like a little bit of sunshine or maybe moonlight peeking through, and the camera zooms in. It starts with a drone shot.
There's a camera.
I'm
being filmed. Oh, no.
Yeah. So
I did not consent to this. I didn't sign a release.
So the camera zooms into this one tree, and in this tree there's a hole in the tree, and it's a perfect hole for a human mouth. And in which a mouth...
You would know.
Oh, yeah. And then a human mouth pops out of the hole, and it's someone screaming. It's a woman. She's like, "Help me! Please help me!"
How do you know it's a woman?
You will find out. It's a woman.
Okay.
You literally see her. You see her inside the tree. She's bleeding. Her nose has been torn off. Her ears are bleeding. Something, like, royally fucked her up. And she's like, "Please."
Probably a bear.
Probably. You would hope. So she's like, please, someone help me. She's trying to claw her way out of the tree. And then this little boy, who turns out to be her son, shows up in the forest. And she's like, "Please, Timmy, help me. It's me, your mom." And little Timmy, he's like, "Okay, Mom, I'm going to help you." And he grabs a rock and bludgeons his mother to death.
Oh.
And he says, "Pledged is pledged."
Okay.
And then two hands pop out of the tree and grab the mother's face and, bring her into the tree. Pull her into the tree.
So the kid is involved or possessed or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you learn that was the Cray family in 1919. So, many years ago. The current story takes place in 2014. So now we pick up in modern day. Well, modern day.
2014.
Yeah, modern day 2014 with the Rooks family, where they're moving into a new house. And here's the thing, right? There's monsters and blood and crazy shit in this book, but at its core, this is a book about a broken family. And not broken as in like they're estranged or separated. They're each individually broken and still together, helping each other out.
Okay.
Right? Scott Snyder does
There's no divorce.
No.
They're all together.
They're all together and broken in their own ways.
Traumas.
Exactly. And Scott Snyder does a great job, like, filling you in on what is going on with these people's lives. So, you meet first you meet the father, Charlie, and the daughter, Sailor.
Sailor?
I think that's such
name.
I know, that's such
like
an
Sailor
interesting
Moon.
name, yeah. And so here they are. There's Charlie, there's Sailor, And they're waiting for the school bus. The school bus is coming. It's going to be her first day at this new school, and she's really nervous. She's like, Dad, do you think these new students are going to know about me? Like, she has a reputation or something. And Charlie's like, no, like, don't worry about it. You're going to have a wonderful first day.
I think if your name is Charlie, there's got to be a certain point in your life where you grow up and start going by, like, Charles.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's he's kind of immature. He's kind of young at heart.
So it's almost purposeful that
it's purposeful that he's
Charlie.
Not Charles. Yeah, or Chuck.
Chuck.
You know, he's Charlie. So she gets on the bus.
When are you gonna stop being Vinny and just go by Vincent?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably never. Be Vincenzo.
Yeah.
When I move to Italy when I'm like 75.
That'd be awesome.
I know. So Sailor gets on the bus. And she's very, like, apprehensive. She's hesitant to, like, start this new chapter in her life at a new school. And we'll learn, like, why she moved schools. And the whole family, they relocated because of what happened at her old school. I think they're still in, like, the same county, but, like, the next town over or something. And so
not that big of a change.
It's not that big a change, but just a different change of pace for the family. A good way to start over.
Like, do they go from the city to the suburbs or something?
No. Suburbs to suburbs. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So you see Charlie, and he walks back. Sailor gets on the bus. He walks back home. You get to see their house. They're still moving in. And you meet Charlie's wife. And she is paralyzed. And you'll learn...
Almost comatose?
No, I don't know why I always say comatose in every episode, but she's not comatose. She's just paralyzed.
I don't even know if that joke will make sense.
Probably not.
Episodes come out in such a random order.
I know. So you meet Charlie's wife, and I totally forget her name.
That's okay.
To be honest, I'll call her Mary.
Say it eventually. I'll
call her Mary. They're like not divorced. They're very loving towards one another. And you'll find out why or how she got paralyzed. She was in a car accident. Okay, I'll just cut to it. They explain it later, but she got into a bad car accident, and I believe she's a nurse. And ever since she got in the car accident and paralyzed, she's still working at the hospital because, like, that's her life. You know, she's going to keep trying to help people.
So do they go into the car accident much in this book?
They do. There's like a few pages where they explain what happens.
So until we get there, I'm just going to assume there was a guy, Kurt Russell, chasing her down in his death-proof car.
Yeah.
And he caught up to her.
It's going to let you down. She just got into a car accident. Okay. So...
Sorry, I just watched Death Proof last night.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I love Death Proof. So
such a weird movie.
It is. Was that Tarantino?
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a Tarantino film.
Yeah.
It's so pretentious.
Yeah.
Like
that's why you love it, though.
Just let it be a Tarantino film.
I know.
Like, he directed it. Why can't it just be one of his... He's, like, ashamed of it or something?
He must be. So we see Sailor, and she's on the bus, and she's keeping to herself, and everyone on the bus is like, oh my god, that's her. So it's like, what did she do? Like, what's so bad that the people from the next town over...
someone. That's how they're talking about her.
Yeah.
Did she?
We'll get into it.
Oh, boy.
So while she's on the bus, she looks out the window, and she sees this bald, like, zombie-looking guy.
That's terrifying.
He's bald? He's bald. Yeah, and he walks out of the forest.
Wait, by choice?
We'll get to it. So, this seemingly bald man... like
seemingly bald?
Bald, seemingly a man, walks out of the forest, and he's just muttering, pledge, pledge, pledge. And Sailor's like, oh, that's fucking weird. Time to go to school. You learn that Charlie is, like... He's an author, but also an illustrator. And he's trying to balance, like, moving into the house while writing a new book and everything. And he's talking to Uncle Reggie, which is just his friend, but Uncle Reggie to Sailor.
Oh, he's not his actual uncle or his brother.
No. They're just like
close friends.
They're just like childhood friends. So,
like, you'll be an uncle to my kid.
Yeah, I'll be Uncle Vinny. While Charlie's working on his book, his wife is, like, trying to unpack, and then a deer walks in the house. And Charlie's like, oh, why'd we leave the door open?
Do you know what... Are they in America?
Yeah, they're...
Do you know what state they're in?
Oh, man. I
if,
feel
if
like...
it matters. I mean, they've got deer, like, upstate
Yeah, it doesn't say where they are.
We'll just say New York.
I don't think it's New York.
Why? It's the most witch activity in all of the US.
Sure. Sure.
I just made that up.
Yeah, Salem. I don't know.
Could be.
So there's somewhere where there's heavy. It's like a country town. Like they're in some countryside.
They're in the woods. Yeah.
They're in the woods. And so this deer walks into their house, and they're like, "Okay, we gotta get this motherfucker out of here because we can't have a deer in the house."
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need more explanation.
Exactly.
There's a deer in your house. Yeah.
So we quickly cut to Sailor, who's at school, and she's in some, like, I think it's probably like chemistry or something.
Like it, yeah.
And the girl next to her is like, "Hi, my name's Mary," or whatever. "Is it true? Like, are you her?" And Sailor's like, and she's like, Did you kill that girl?" And Sailor's like, and she like kind of has this.
Called it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this out front. I'm a genius.
You are.
And
you're so smart. And Sailor has like a total.
Like it's obvious, right?
Sailor has like a total freak out moment. You learn that. Why do I keep saying Taylor?
I don't know. Yeah,
you learn that
character in this book.
I know. You learn that Sailor has she has a lot of mental health issues. She suffers with panic attacks and anxiety. And ever since what happened, it's only gotten worse. So she has like a panic attack in the middle of class. She runs out of there, and we get like a little snippet into what happened with the girl that she seemingly killed. And so here's like a little bit of a disclaimer for what we were talking about before. So what happened is at her old school, Sailor had a bully, and this bully was like just nonstop, like making her life a living hell for no reason. You know, like some people are just
as
assholes.
They tend to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Sailor even like flips out on her and is like, "Why do you hate me? I've never done anything." And the bully's just like, "I just hate you
because you wear glasses and you're stupid."
Yeah. She literally is just like, "Because you were born. Because like I just don't like you, and like I'd rather if you weren't fucking here."
Oh.
And
sad.
It is. And they're in the woods, I should mention. I guess the bully like trapped her in the woods. Like she was probably on her walk home through the woods. The bully followed her. So Sailor pulls out a knife to defend herself and is like, "Get the fuck away from me. Like, I will kill you." And the bully is like, "Oh, you brought a knife to a gunfight." Oh. And the bully whips out like probably her dad's revolver or something. And the bully's like, "Here's what you're gonna do. Okay? You're gonna strip. And you're going to take that knife, and you're gonna fuck yourself with it. And I'm going to film it, and I'm going to send it to everybody in school."
That's like some Exorcist shit.
Yeah. And she's like, "You're going to pretend like you're having the best time. And I'm going to send it to everybody in school and show everyone that you're a whore." And Sailor, she starts doing it. Like, she starts stripping. And then all of a sudden, they hear like a little rustle in the trees. And the bully turns around, she starts firing off the gun, and then these hands just protrude from a tree, grab her, and then...
That seems familiar.
Yeah! And, of course, after that, Sailor... They don't show you what happens after, but, like, you could imagine Sailor runs out of the woods screaming about how this monster attacked her bully, killed her bully, and everyone was like, "Well, maybe you did it, and you hid the body."
Yeah, like, what kind of alibi is that? The tree pulled her in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why they moved, just to escape all the talk of the town. So, meanwhile, in the present, Charlie and his wife, they're trying to deal with the deer when all of a sudden the deer makes like this horrific high-pitched noise and just bites its tongue off.
Oh.
And they're like, "Oh my fucking God, what is wrong with that?" And
it's just spewing blood all over their new carpet.
Spewing blood everywhere. Now they got this tongue they got to deal with. It's horrible.
You ever had deer tongue?
No.
You ever had any kind of tongue?
I don't think so, no.
Would you like some?
So later that night, Charlie goes into Sailor's room and is like, "How was school?" And she's like, "It was pretty fucking terrible." And Charlie's like, I know. Like, I wish I could go to school with you and like beat up everybody who gives you a hard time. But that's illegal and I can't do that. you know.
It's like what every dad thinks.
Yeah.
Well, good dad.
Exactly. Yeah. And Charlie he's trying to be a good dad because he's had a lot of problems in his past. He was a heavy alcoholic. And every now and again, like during this book, he'll have moments where he's like, I really want to drink. And you could understand that because the stuff that happens in this book is horrific. But what are you going to say?
I was just going to say, this is right. I see why Stephen King said that, because this is right up his alley. This feels like a Stephen King novel.
It does.
I mean, more rushed than his would be, because you'd have like
20 pages
on what the house looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
What the neighbors do for a living.
Yeah.
Their landlord and his dirty little secret.
Of course. And this is just 6 issues, so like you could read this all in one sitting, and it flows perfectly.
Is this a singular book? Or
it is just one book.
Okay.
I think originally Scott Snyder wanted to make it a full series, but he never did. Maybe he will one day. I know he's doing a lot of DC stuff right now, so if he ever has some downtime and wants to come back to this, I think that'd be cool. I'd like a sequel to this because it kind of leaves off where you could do it.
Okay.
So you have a little father-daughter moment. Sailor, she's just like, I can't stop thinking about how a monster killed my bully and no one believes me. Like, I understand, it's not believable. You know, like, monsters shouldn't exist, but, like, I saw one, and I'm not crazy. Like, and the thing is, like, she feels like she's crazy, but at the same time, she knows that she saw what she saw. Mm. And no one believes her because she is, like, you know, paranoia and anxiety. So everyone's just like, oh, she's a kid, she has problems, like, she's just making shit up for attention.
Do her parents believe her?
It takes them a little bit, but they do.
Is this the same day, this little conversation, is this the same day as the deer biting its tongue off?
Yeah, it's that night. They don't mention the deer to Sailor. They're like, well,
we don't want to put her through more stress than she's already going through. Yeah.
Quickly put, like, something over the blood. So later that night, Sailor's like ready to go to bed.
Like, she's like, Mom, Dad, why is there a painting on the floor?
Your mother dropped it.
Dad, she can't even move.
So Sailor's trying to go to bed, and she looks out the window because she hears something, and then that's when she sees it.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah, just this witch, and it's making like this chittery noise.
Chittery.
It's like chit chit chit. But when I was reading it, I chalk it up to the predator noise, which is...
Yeah. You'll take any opportunity to do it.
Of course. And, like, when she sees it, she's like, oh my god, that's horrifying. But it looks like the bully. But all, like, scary and contorted and witch-like. So she freaks out about it.
It looks like the bully at all, but...
Yeah.
I didn't know her.
The bully's name was Annie, and she looks at the witch and she's like, Annie? And then she just, like, screams. Her parents run upstairs. Well, her dad runs upstairs.
Oh my god.
Her dad runs upstairs, and outside the house is that the seemingly bald man who's like ripping his teeth out and putting them on their lawn.
That's foul.
It is foul. This book is foul, bro. It gets crazy.
And that's the end of the chapter.
That's the end of the chapter. It's broken up into 6 chapters. Mm-hmm. The next day after all the horror happens, we pick up with Charlie and Uncle Reggie. And Charlie is building he's building like a wheelchair lift thing that brings you up the stairs. I don't know what those are called.
It's just a lift.
Lift. And he's building it for his wife and talking to Reggie. And he's talking about, like, trying to get better and how he feels like he's been kind of a shitty dad lately. And how last night he heard Sailor scream because she saw something in her window and she claims that it was, like, a zombified version of the bully. And we get, like, a cut to what happened last night. Charlie runs upstairs and he sees Sailor just like she's fallen out of the bed and she has like this gash or like this cut in her neck.
The window's broken.
Like something broke in and did this to her. And so now Charlie is like, okay, something's definitely going on. And now, like, everyone says my daughter's crazy because she sees monsters in the woods, but someone clearly broke in You know, this isn't something she could do to her. Like, it is, but why would she?
Was there glass on the floor?
Yeah.
Like, that's how you know.
I mean, yeah.
Like, if someone broke in or if she broke the window.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which way's the glass face?
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Like, someone definitely broke in. And Reggie's like, okay, that's weird. Also, Reggie's sitting in the lift. And he's like, listen, your daughter's gone through a lot. And I know, like, your whole family has really gone through a lot. After your wife was paralyzed and after your, you know, sobering up. Bless you.
Thank you.
That was a nice chew.
Okay, I think we're good. Sorry.
It's okay. So then we see Sailor at school, and she has a big bandage on her neck, trying to hide it, and she's trying out for the swim team, and she ends up seeing the girl who asked, like the girl from her chemistry class, who was like, was it true? Did you kill that girl? She's also trying out for the swim team. And she apologizes. She's like, maybe it wasn't the best idea for the first thing to come out of my mouth be like
an accusation.
Like an accusation.
Yeah.
And they get to talking and they become friends. And Sailor jumps in the pool. She dives into the pool. And when she's in the pool, the bandage comes off. And
yeah, that wasn't so smart.
Yeah, the bandage comes off. And it's more of like a bubble in her neck. And it turns out it's not just a bubble, but it's an eye.
Oh.
There's an eye in her neck.
It's like a welt.
Yeah.
That's gross.
And then you see, like, here, like
I
the
was
cover.
Gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, it's an eyeball.
I mean, I didn't want to give anything away, but on the cover.
And it's grotesque.
She's got an eye on her neck. So, I'm assuming they'll go into this more later. What's up with the eye, right?
We'll see.
Okay.
So, we pick up with Sailor's mother. She's at the hospital. There's some girl who got into a bad accident. Like, I don't remember what the accident was or what happened to her, but her eyes are all, like, messed up.
Yeah. She's got, like, 2 black eyes.
Yeah.
And they're just red.
Yeah. And so Sailor's mom's at the hospital attending to this young... I think it's a boy. I don't know if I said it was a girl.
You might have.
Whatever.
So, why is her mom there?
Because she's a nurse.
Oh.
Like, after the accident, she never stopped being a nurse. And she's talking to another nurse, and she's like, I feel really useless. You know, like, I'm here and I'm trying to help, but, like, I'm in a wheelchair, and I feel like I could do more, but, like, I can't.
Yeah.
And the other nurse is like, no, you can't think like that, because we're just happy to have you on board. And the mom's very, like, you know, she's losing faith in her abilities to help people as good as she used to. Maybe falling into a little bit of a depression. They don't really go into, like, if she's falling into depression, but you can gather that.
Yeah. Just based on her actions.
Exactly.
Responses to things.
Yeah. So Sailor gets out of the pool, and everyone's like, what's going on? She gets out of the pool screaming and bleeding, and everyone's like, what's going on? And then, like, the eye, like, kind of closes up and goes away. So when everyone starts looking at it, it's like nothing's there. And she's like, there's an eye in my neck or something. And everyone's like, oh, you're just crazy. You're losing it.
Man, that happens to her a lot.
Yeah. And
some witch with a Y is trying to make people think she's crazy.
I know. And so she, like, runs out of the school. And she runs out of the school, and the principal calls her dad and is like, your daughter's freaking out. We need you here to pick her up. And then Reggie, now I should say Uncle Reggie's cool. He drives a motorcycle, and he's, like, cruising down the street, and he passes a school bus. And in the school bus, he sees Sailor, who's driving the bus, because she stole it and is, like, just driving to get out of... Like, she's just in, like, a manic state of mind. She just has to get out of school. The first thing she saw was a school bus. And she just stole it. And Uncle Reggie's like, what the fuck? You get to see the car accident that the mother got into. And she was driving one night, and she saw, like, something dead in the road. And she thought it was a deer, but it wasn't. They don't show it. Oh, yeah. Right here. Some monster crawls out of the road and scares her, and that causes her to crash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this is what the witches really look like. So they're not, like, old women with hats.
No, they're, like, Wendigo monsters.
Yeah. They're, like, scary. And so Reggie catches up with Sailor, who's like, she crashed the bus. She's in the woods. She's just sobbing that no one believes her. And Reggie's like, Sailor, what are you doing? And she's like, Uncle Reggie, like, they're watching us. And she looks up, and there's just, like, all these heads of witches staring at them.
That's awful.
Yeah. And at the same time, Charlie, who's at the house, he hears something, like, creak above him. And he's like, Sailor, is she home? Like, what the hell? She should be at school. I just got the phone call. I gotta go pick her up. And he goes upstairs, and then the Baldman, Henry Baldman is here and attacks Charlie.
Well, he straddles him.
He straddles him and attacks him. Man, the art in this book is, like, totally bananas. Like, there's a lot of, like, splatter of different colors. Mm-hmm. And I know some people don't like that. I think sometimes it's very, like, what am I looking at?
I think it works for certain genres and stories.
Yeah,
like
I think it works.
Being a horror book,
yeah,
I feel like it works because it kind of distracts your eyes a little bit.
I think so too. This is the splatteriest I've seen Jock's art. Because like in Batman Black Mirror, it's not like this.
It's definitely the same style.
Yeah, like it's the same pencils, obviously, but like not as much splatter here. But I think it gives it like a very unique look to the whole book. Charlie and his wife go into the woods. Oh, that night the bald man breaks in, attacks Charlie, and just like escapes. Attacks him for a minute. Is like, your daughter has been pledged. And Charlie's like, what the fuck does that mean? And then the bald man just like runs away.
That's what we're all wondering.
Yeah. So like, the bald man attacks, says your daughter's been pledged, and then runs away, seemingly, and then you actually get the full story later. But it's like intercut with Charlie and his wife in the woods looking for Sailor and Uncle Reggie. And they meet up with the sheriff.
How do they know that they're in the woods?
They found the school bus.
Oh, okay.
And because the principal is like, yeah, your daughter stole a school bus. So they find the school bus, they go into the woods.
She's going to get detention for sure.
She might get expelled for that. She might go to jail for that. Nah.
Grand Theft Auto,
yeah.
I mean, did they leave the keys in the bus?
Yeah.
So
that's an invitation to steal it.
No, I don't even know if that's considered theft. Like, if your car was stolen but you left the keys in there, your insurance company would be like, fuck you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So I doubt this 15-year-old girl hotwired a school bus. So
you probably could.
Probably.
Like, on a lot of those buses and older trucks even, like, the wires are just there.
They're just there, yeah.
Like,
you're right.
I probably shouldn't say this, but you could easily steal a mail truck. Like, the wires are exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it kind of... So, Charlie, his wife, and they meet up with the sheriff in the woods, and the sheriff is like, so your daughter stole a school bus, and it's always so suspicious how a family moves into town, and then random, crazy, scary things start happening. Like, your daughter has a problem, like, she's mentioned monsters in the woods, and we know that you have history with being an alcoholic, Charlie. Like, are you abusing your daughter? Are you, like, is there something you're not telling us? Like, why does she act up so much, or act out so much? And Charlie's like, I don't abuse my daughter. Like, I love her more than anything. I've had trouble with that in the past, but, like, everyone has their own problems, okay? Like, let's just find my daughter. And then we see, like, the rest of the previous night when the bald man attacks Charlie, and you actually find out that it's a bald woman.
I was going to say that bald man's got titties.
Yeah. I was going to mention it earlier, but I was like, I'll keep it. Because you don't know until this moment.
That's
when she
why
whips
you
out
kept
the
saying
titties.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the bald woman is straddling Charlie, and it's like, your daughter has been pledged. But listen, it's okay. Like, getting pledged is like, it's not so bad. Especially for the person that pledged her, you know? And then the bald woman takes out this, like, knife or a syringe or something and just, like, stabs Charlie in the tummy. And
looks like a straw.
It does look like a straw. And the woman is like...
a reusable straw.
Yeah.
This witch cares about the environment.
Of course. And she's not a witch, though, this woman. She's just like, the witches are coming. Like, they're gonna crawl out of the cauldron, and they're gonna take whoever's been pledged. And it's it's how this town does things. Like, it's just what happens in this town. Almost like
didn't they move towns?
It's like, it's what happens in the county. It's what happens in this little area.
Yeah.
The woods are very big.
I'm sure the witches don't care about where...
They don't care about area codes or anything. No. Yeah. Maybe there's different witches for different area codes.
Different postal codes, yeah.
Yeah. And so, the woman is like, people need to be pledged. I guess this woman is like very into not overpopulation. She's like, there needs to be a certain amount of people that live in this village. Underpopulation. She's all about that. She's like, the witches are needed in this city. They have to feed. People pledge other people so the witches stay happy and don't just invade the town and kill everybody.
Oh, so Sailor was pledged by someone else.
By someone else. And so...
To get eaten.
To get eaten. And that's why the witches are constantly like... around her or like hanging out at her window.
So I wasn't looking for it before, but was the bully, did she have like anything on her neck like an eye?
No. Oh. No, she didn't. But this bald woman's also like, there are certain, like, you don't have to pledge innocent people. Like, there's plenty of people around this area that you could pledge, and if you want to stay safe, then maybe you should pledge someone before someone pledges you. And then the woman pulls out like a list. And it's like, here's a list of people that the witches personally want to get pledged. Or not personally want, but like, that'll benefit
those people.
Yeah, they taste the best. Or they smell like they would taste the best. And now Charlie has this list. And of course he brings it up to the sheriff. He's like, last night someone broke in my house. She whipped her titties out and stabbed me. And then the sheriff's like, let me see where she stabbed you. And conveniently the stab mark is gone.
Right,
like it just closed up. Yeah. And then he's like, well, the woman gave me this list of people that they want to kill or whatever. And then the sheriff's like, so you have a list of names that you claim should die, and some are crossed off.
Yeah.
Are you... this is really... This isn't working out for you, Charlie. Plus, you have a bad history of being, like, irresponsible, and, like...
And your daughter's seeing...
And your daughter's seeing monsters. Like, it's not looking good for you. So then... Charlie's like, you know what, fuck you. And he runs into the forest, calling his daughter's name. And then from a tree, he hears, help me! And he looks over, and Reggie's in the tree. Oh, just like the woman from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think...
is it the same tree?
You know what? It might be.
Because it's like the same mouth hole.
It could be. I don't know. So, I should mention, I'm pretty sure the bald woman is the woman from the beginning. Whose son bludgeoned her.
But she got snatched.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does it go into that more?
No, it's just a theory. I don't know if that's true.
Oh, you made it up.
I just made it up.
You're a fucking liar.
I'm a fucking liar. It could be. It might not be. Whatever. So, Reggie is like, help me! And Charlie's like, bro, I don't know how to help you. Do I get a chainsaw? And Reggie's just like, kill me! Like, yeah! And Charlie's like the little kid, he grabs a rock. It's like, I'm not gonna, I don't want to kill you. I'm gonna use this rock to kind of break the tree. And then seemingly, not seemingly, but the sheriff shows up and is like, Charlie, what are you doing?
It's like always just the worst times.
And then he's like, but my friend, he's in the tree. And then he's not in the tree. And the sheriff's like, maybe I should throw you in a jail cell. I feel like you might be a danger to yourself and other people. You get this cool little page of Sailor's diary.
It's broken. It's made of glass. She writes in a glass diary.
I think that's just Jock having fun with the cover. And, man, I wish I could remember the wife's name.
Is there anything important in the diary? Did you read that?
I mean, it's mostly just, like, her talking about her, like, mental illness, her past with her dad, how, like, when she gets the thing in her neck, she's like, I hope it's a tumor, and not, like, a monster growing out of me or something. And Charlie and his wife they read it and they're like, this, like, we came here for a fresh start. We didn't want this, and now it's become a horror show. And his wife is like, we'll work through it. Okay, I don't. And she doesn't have the answers. Like, how do you have the right answer to? Yeah, our daughter is missing. Maybe witches or monsters are coming after her. Plus, like, the wife hasn't seen anything especially crazy except for the deer and the witch that, like, jumped in front of her car and paralyzed her, like, years ago. She doesn't even know what that was. So she's, like, trying to keep everything together, but she can't deny that things are, like, being pretty
There is
weird.
something weird.
There's something weird. She's not like, yeah, I don't believe you. I think you're crazy too.
So Charlie told her, like, everything that happened?
Charlie told her everything that's happened.
Okay.
And I don't know if he was going to, but after Sailor went missing, now, like, he's like, we need to find her daughter. I don't know how. The woman broke in last night, stabbed me in the gut, and now it's gone, and we have no idea how to find Sailor. And, like, I wish I just knew where to find her. And he, like, lifts up his shirt to, like, rub his glasses, and he's looking in the mirror, and he looks at his tummy, and his veins have, like, rearranged, and it says here.
Ooh.
So
like his veins? What is that? Why is it blue?
Like I don't know. Like his veins are, like, bulging out.
It's like an Iron Man 2. Is it 2? Yeah. Iron Man 2 and his veins are all black.
Yeah. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Charlie's played by Robert Downey Jr.
And his nipples are green.
Yeah, well, that's more of Jock's splatter.
Yeah.
So Charlie is like
splattered all over this book.
He did. So Charlie's like, here? Like, what the hell does that mean? Is she here? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
She's in my tummy.
She's in my tummy? I have to give birth to my own daughter now?
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah. Where would she come out of?
The penis.
So...
Where else?
Out of the mouth. Just,
yeah. I don't know if that's better.
It's not. That'll kill you. Especially, like, if she's a full-grown teenage girl.
Unless it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, maybe.
She's been, like, shrunken.
Yeah.
Shrinked.
So Charlie grabs a knife and digs in his chest. No, he doesn't actually.
Oh, well.
He actually...
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past this
I
book.
know. He actually grabs a map. And he grabs a map and he finds this place, Here Point.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That now
Here Point.
Here's the thing. I love this book. That's probably the only thing in this book where I'm like, that's a little stupid.
Yeah.
It's Here Point on the Here Coast. And I'm like, okay.
Unless it's a real place.
I mean, it could be. I don't know every single place in the world. There's some places with stupid names.
Yeah. Why
Whatever.
not? We'll look past it.
Yeah. And then, so, like, we see where Sailor is, and she's seemingly in the cauldron, which is what the bald woman said. Like, the witches will crawl out of the cauldron and feed. Like, she's in the cauldron. She lights a match, and something's, like, grabbing her, pulling her farther. So
she says, "Bubble, bubble, toil and trouble."
Yeah.
Stirs the cauldron.
So Charlie goes to show his wife his veins. He's like, yo, look at my sick veins, bro. And she's like, what are you talking about?
She's like, you got another tat?
Yeah.
At least it's not a Ferris wheel.
Yeah. The Ferris wheel's like, it comes up again. It comes
there
up right
it is,
here.
Right there. I was going to ask, because I should mention, because I didn't mention it before, but he has a tattoo.
He does have a
Ferris
tattoo of a Ferris wheel
on his arm.
We'll get to that in a second. So Charlie shows his wife his veins, and she's like, wow, your veins look really weird. And he's like, it says here. And it doesn't say here anymore. But they're still, like, bulging and crazy looking.
Yeah.
They just don't say words. So now he's like, did I see that? Like, am I crazy? Like, what is going on?
I mean, it'd be a crazy coincidence to not have known about Here Point or Here Lake or whatever it was.
I mean, he does know of it, but he's like...
But prior to the veins?
No, yeah, he's like, I think there's a place called, like, Here Point or Here Coast or something. And I think he pulls out the map to, like, find out where it is. And so Charlie is like, I think Sailor is at Here Point or at Here Coast. Like, we need to go find her. And like, obviously his wife is like, I can't. Like, I know you want to find her like, we want to find her daughter, but it's not safe for us to go. Like, you say that your veins are like a trail, like leading you somewhere. Like, that's a little absurd, Charlie. I know like other absurd shit's going on right now, but like, maybe you're just tired. Maybe you're just losing it a little bit. Maybe you're trying to find...
Just grasping at straws.
Exactly, just to find your daughter. Like, not saying she was not there.
Your daughter.
Our daughter.
Yeah.
But, like, not saying she's not there, but, like, shouldn't we call the police? And then Charlie's like, the police
the first
don't
time
care.
I did that, he threatened to throw me in jail.
Exactly.
Of course, if the police, if he did call the police, they'd show up and be like, "What veins? You don't have veins."
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Not one vein in his body. No. We get to see more of Sailor in the cauldron, and there's just bodies, just meat on the floor.
They like ate people.
They did. These are more like bones and clothes.
Oh, okay. They ate all the meat.
Yeah.
Got
it. Charlie goes to Here Coast, and he finds like this old dilapidated house.
Does he go without the mom?
He does. He goes alone. He goes to the house, and he runs into the bald woman again, who has like a gun, and is like, "Here's the deal. You're gonna take this rope, and it's a noose. You're gonna take this noose, and you're gonna tie it to the fucking the ceiling." And this part's like intercut with a flashback to like when Charlie was drinking, and I'll save that for a little bit.
Okay.
So Charlie grabs the noose, he ties it up, and the bald woman is like, the witches, they're coming. I told you they're coming, and they have your daughter. She whips out a witch's skull. It's like, this is what they look like. Like, don't fight. You don't want any part of this. Like, they're coming after your daughter, so just let it be that. Like, no matter what you do, you're not gonna kill them.
Yeah, these Picasso-esque skulls.
Yeah, like your daughter's at the bottom of the food chain. Like, she's an easy target, and so are you. Like, nothing you do can take care of these witches. The woman also shoots Charlie's ear.
Picasso again.
And then the woman hangs herself.
Oh.
With the noose. Where you also see, like, when she hangs herself, like, she has, like, prosthetic legs. So, like, the witches ate her legs, I guess.
Ooh.
And Charlie's like, oh my god. Just everything that happens to this poor guy. Now he's bleeding from the ear, and he's gonna get home, and his wife is like, what's going on? What happened to your ear? And he's like, I can't even explain it. Like, she wasn't at Here Coast. I found the bald woman who broke in. Like, I don't know where she is. The bald woman also... She gives Charlie, like, a little toolkit. Not a toolkit, but, like, a few things to fight off the witches. Or, like, not fight them off, but, like...
Ward them
off. Like, your daughter's gone, but maybe if you, like, have these certain things, they'll stop coming for you and your wife. Like, your daughter's a lost cause, but you could still survive. And she ends up giving him, like, some letters, this, like, mason jar that says pledge on it. Just, like, and, like, photos here. Just, like, a bunch of random shit. And Charlie's like, I don't even know what to do with all this. And so, you get this moment where Charlie's just breaking down. He's like, I'm scared. Like, I know I'm the dad, and I'm supposed to have all the answers, but I have literally no answers. I don't know what to do at all. And I feel like if Sailor dies, it's going to be because of me. And so, here's what happened. Like, a few years ago, when Charlie was still drinking, he got, like, super drunk. And he ends up going to the Ferris wheel.
He hit his low point.
He hit his lowest point, which is also his highest point. Because he gets drunk and he climbs to the top of the Ferris wheel. And his daughter like follows
him.
It's
like abandoned? Or?
Yeah, it's like an abandoned amusement park. His daughter follows him. It's like, Dad, come down. Like, you're drunk. You're going to hurt yourself. And her dad is just like, I'm not coming down. I'm having a great time. If you want to come get me, then climb up and get me. And she's like, I'm not going to climb up there. Like, please just come down. And he's like, man, you've always been so afraid. Like, I wish just for once you'd stop be like so scared of everything in your life. And he's just like laying it on real thick to his daughter. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't control how my brain works. I don't want to be this way, and I'm sorry about that. And Charlie's like, God damn it. Like, I hate you for being so fearful because I believe in you. Because I believe that you can overcome it, but you don't. So if you want me, come up here and get me. And
that's really sweet in a mean way.
It is. And Sailor's like, fine, you want me to go up there? Fine, I'll fucking climb. And she starts climbing the Ferris wheel. And Charlie's like, still screaming at her. He's like, I believe in you. You can do it. God damn it. And she's climbing. And she's like, you believe me? Like, I'll climb higher and higher. And she keeps going higher. And he starts sobering up. He's like, wait, no, that's a little too high. Like, come down. And then she slips. And luckily he catches her. But she, like, passes out. And at that moment, he's like, fuck. Like, I'm her dad. Like, no father should encourage their daughter to
climb a Ferris wheel.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially like, I'm the adult. I'm supposed to be the responsible one, and I put my daughter in like extreme danger. Like, if she fell, she would have died. And that's the moment he decides to sober up. And because of that experience, he gets the tattoo of the Ferris wheel as like his sober moment.
Yeah. Symbolic commemoration to his turning around. Exactly.
And so now in the present day, Charlie, he was crying to his wife. He was like, I'm so scared because like I almost let Sailor die like years ago when she fell off the Ferris wheel. Like, I'm a shit dad. And now like she's going to die alone, eaten by monsters. And then his wife is like, who's Sailor? And Charlie's like, what do you mean? He's like, who's Sailor? It's like, Sailor's our daughter. Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, is this present day?
This is present day.
Oh.
And Charlie starts flipping out. He's like, our daughter, Sailor, she's like 15. We moved here because of like what happened with her. Like what happened with all of like, and the wife just doesn't, she's pretending like she doesn't know.
What?
I know. Okay. We'll get to it. All of a sudden, the sheriff barges in. And the sheriff is like, oh, Charlie. And you find out the sheriff is like, he's working with the witches. Like, he pledges people.
Oh.
Because he explains, or the bald woman explains that, like, if you pledge someone, the witches will grant you something. Like, they'll grant you a little wish or something you want because they are magic. You know, like you do something for them, they do something for you.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the sheriff is like, I've pledged so many people, and every time they like give me a little more life. Like, I've been a sheriff in these parts for like forever.
Is he the one that didn't believe Charlie before?
Yeah, same sheriff.
So did he just pretend to not see anything in the tree?
Yeah. Like he's
what a scumbag.
Exactly.
And he's gonna get pledged.
Well, I mean, what happens is Charlie shoots him in the head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They pledged him with a gun.
He pledged him with a bullet, yeah. They get into a huge fight, and the sheriff is like, no matter what you do, like, the witches, like, they're gonna get you. And Charlie's like, fuck you, bro. And shoots the guy. I like this image a lot, this tree right here.
It's a scary tree.
It's a scary tree with, like, a bunch of eggs in it of, like, witches that'll be hatched.
Oh. So okay.
What?
Nothing. No, I didn't know witches came from eggs.
Yeah.
I thought okay. So I thought I thought the witches were like people that they took. Because wasn't one of her friends appear to her, or not her friend, but the bully, Annie, appeared to her as a witch.
No. It was. I don't think it was actually her. Like, I think maybe like a skinwalker.
I was gonna say this.
They could like take forms.
I was gonna ask if the witches in this, because skinwalkers are technically witches.
Yeah, and I feel like the way this kind of reads, it could have been called like skinwalkers, maybe. Yeah. Very similar. Like Scott Snyder, there's definitely a parallel there.
They're taking more from the Native American lore of witches, it seems.
Exactly.
Which is cool. I like that.
And so...
That's like my favorite version of... I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier when you asked me about witches, but...
Yeah.
So, I don't know if this will come up at all.
Yeah, what's up?
Do they work with the same rules as a skinwalker then? Like, can they shapeshift in any sort of way?
Maybe.
Just into, like, people? Because you mentioned they just kind of looked like Annie.
Yeah. The thing is, they don't really dive into it too much. Like, the witches are very hidden in, like, you know, like...
They don't tell you a lot about them.
They don't tell you a lot about them.
Okay.
All you really know is, occasionally, like, if you pledge someone, the witches will come and eat them and give you something that you could want, whatever it might be.
Got it.
The sheriff also mentions, like, the witches don't like ginger.
Okay, it's like garlic.
Yeah,
for vampires.
Sure. He's like, they don't like it. It stinks to them or something. And he makes like a parallel to like a gingerbread house or something. And Charlie's like, okay. So he gets a giant jar of ginger and just slathers his body with it. And he's like, I'm going to find my fucking daughter.
Okay. So the wife, is that the wife?
Here?
Yeah.
That's Sailor.
Oh, that's Sailor?
Yeah.
Oh.
The wife... So well, here she is in the hospital after her accident.
Sailor has red hair?
She does.
Oh, so she should be fine. Because she's a ginger.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, spoilers, but she does survive this book.
Because she's a ginger.
Because she's a ginger.
I hate ginger.
Exactly. So, you do get to see, like, after the mom's accident, when she's in the hospital bed, and Sailor... So, 2011, her mom got in the accident. So she's been in a wheelchair for 3 years. And I think the dad was sober by this point. Maybe. Actually, I don't know. He might not have been. But this is, like, the first... like point in their relationship where things are really starting to like break with each other. Like they still love each other obviously, but Sailor, she's like almost a teenager at this point, so like, you know, she's getting more rebellious and more angry at everything. Charlie just doesn't know what to do, and the wife, obviously she's incapacitated at this moment.
She's got in an accident.
Exactly. And this book does a great job of showing you like heartfelt moments between the family, in between the horrific witches and killing.
So does the wife never bring up to them that she saw something scary in the road and that's what made her crash?
It'll come up.
Okay.
It'll come up, don't worry. So
he's going through the cauldron.
He's going through the cauldron, and he's like getting deeper and deeper in it, trying to find his daughter, and eventually he'll find her. Actually, he finds her like right here, and she's like knocked out, and he grabs her. He like wakes her up. Here's the sheriff. He looks fucking horrible.
Oh, he's still alive?
He's still alive. Yeah. He didn't shoot him in the head yet. Charlie shoots him later, but.
What was that little page of his little comic book character?
Oh yeah, that's what Charlie draws. He's in the middle of like a new like book, and occasionally they'll give you like little pages of the artwork and the book he's working on. Charlie grabs his daughter and they burn the cauldron. Like they set a flame to the cauldron, burn the witches, and try and escape out of there. Charlie, like they're being bombarded by witches. And you see, there is a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think Charlie has the gun that he took from the sheriff, and only so many bullets.
Yeah.
And he's like,
it's a little revolver.
Exactly. And he's shooting witches. He starts lighting them on fire. And eventually they get out of there, and then you learn, like, they get back home, and you could look through this. They get back home safely, and Charlie's like, oh my god, finally found you safely. And then the mom is there, and Charlie's like, look, it's our daughter, like, you have to remember her now. And then the mom is like, oh, Charlie, like, why do you have to do this? You know, like, I thought we could be I thought we could start over. Like, we wanted to start over, but I realized that we can't start over because of our daughter. Because there's so much trauma, and, like, no matter where we go, people will always think that she killed her bully. And then the wife stands up out of her wheelchair.
Oh.
And she's like, I pledged our daughter so we could get away. And so since she pledged the daughter, the witches were like, here's your ability to stand again.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awful.
It is awful.
Man. Oh, man, that...
It is...
that really threw me for a turn.
I know. I remember, this was one of the first books, like, one of the first independent books I read. And if not, then one of the first horror comics I read when I was first getting into comics. It's written by Image, or published by Image. Yeah. And I remember first time I read it, I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is such a good book. And at the end, here she is. She stands up right there.
Man, that's pretty powerful, though.
Yeah.
Because
she, like, punches Sailor in the face.
Yeah. And
she starts attacking. She's
why?
Like...
And then she stands up and it...
Yeah.
Kind of breaks you.
Yeah.
Seeing that.
She's just like, I loved our daughter, but she's caused us so much pain, and we need to, if we're going to move on, we need to move on without her. So I thought if I pledge her, then we'll just move on. Like, she'll die and we'll move on. And it's really sick. It's really sick and twisted how crazy the mom is at the end. And then they get into, like, a little fight, and then I think Charlie kills his wife.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean...
He'd have to.
I guess so.
He might pledge his wife.
Really? To save his daughter?
Yeah. I think what happens is he pledges his wife, and then he's like, Sailor, run. Like, get out of here. Yeah.
That fire they set in the cauldron really didn't stop the witches.
No. Like, it killed a few of them, but, like, they're on their way. Mm. They have the scent of Charlie and everyone. Charlie's like, Sailor, get out of here. Like, run away. And then Charlie is like, okay, like, fine. You want to start over, it'll just be me and you. And then Charlie, I think he pledges both of that. Like, Charlie, like, pledges himself and his wife. Oh. And then the witches attack and break in and kill them both. And you just see...
Why would he pledge himself? Is it he needs to?
Because he's like... You know, no matter what I do, I'm not going to escape all these witches. Like, they're gonna kill me.
Just, like, move to a different state?
I know. The witches are always going to be, like, lurking around. You never know. Different witches and different postal codes. Wish I could speak.
Me too. Shooting a podcast here.
I know. But
all you have to do is speak.
I know. But Sailor runs out of there, and then, like, a bunch of other people, like, a lot of the town know of the witches. A lot of the town's been pledging each other. And then people start chasing after Sailor and, like, you've been pledged! Like, you can't escape that. And then Sailor's like, fuck you. I pledge all of you. And then she, like, sprays them with...
Pledge.
Sprays them with pledge juice. That
is that actually what it is?
I'm pretty, like, the bald woman. Yeah, whatever was in the jar. I don't remember what it was.
I mean, it said pledge on the side.
It said pledge, so whatever it is. And she...
So what, you don't have to, like, write it on a paper?
I guess not, no.
You could just spray someone with a little juice?
Yeah. Huh. And she puts it in, like, a hose and sprays, like, everyone is chasing after her.
Isn't pledge a spray to, like, kill bugs?
Oh, maybe.
What am I thinking of? I'm pretty sure it's called pledge, right?
It might be. I don't know. But then the end of this book is like Sailor pledges everybody and then like runs away.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, yeah.
It's like floor cleaner. Yeah, it's like the lemon scented floor cleaner.
Maybe they like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it attracts them.
But
the witch is like, clean your floors with this.
So Charlie and his wife die. Sailor pledges everybody. The witches come and attack everyone, and then Sailor like runs away, hops in a car, and just like it ends with her driving off. Right. And that's
Does she have her license?
Probably not.
Okay.
No.
But she stole a school bus, so she knows
did
how to
steal
drive.
a school bus. And then the final fight and everything is contrasted with when Charlie, in the past, announces like his new book that he's doing, and so like you see Sailor like drive off into the distance, and then the last page is Charlie like announcing his book and is like, it's time for the next chapter of our lives. Which, he wouldn't know involves witches and all this death and horror. Yeah.
So I have two questions that didn't really get cleared up through the story. The first being, what is the point of the eye on her neck, the third eye? Do we know at all? It's just...
I don't know. I don't remember.
Just a sign that she's pledged?
Yeah.
So why is it an eye on her neck?
Maybe it's like...
You don't really see that anywhere else except for with her.
Maybe it's just like the witches know you're pledged, like they see you no matter what.
Okay. And then also the deer?
Yeah, they don't explain that. Like the deer's
just like a bad omen?
Just a bad omen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking if it was tied to skinwalkers, the deer could be some way to make them scared or something, because that is the main goal of a skinwalker. They're the tricksters. They want to scare you.
True.
But these witches don't care about
they're scary enough.
They just want to eat people.
Yeah.
So.
But so what'd you think?
It's a pretty interesting book.
It is.
Very horrific.
It is. There's a lot of very scary things in the book. The writing and the art are equally as scary. Scott Snyder and Jock are one of my favorite teams. Whenever I see their names on anything, I'm like, I'll get it. Because I know I'll at least have a fun time reading it. Same with Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, who drew Court of Owls. So recently I went to New York Comic Con, and I saw them. Like, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, they're like best friends in real life. Mm-hmm. And they were at a booth together. And I was like, oh man, it's my time. And I reached in my backpack where I had my Court of Owls book. And I'm like holding it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get it signed. And they were like sold out or something. Because you have to get like tickets to sign things.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been to a Comic-Con.
Yeah,
so.
It sucks. You got to get tickets and they were sold out. And so I was like, oh. But there was like no one at the booth. So part of me was like, should I go up there and just say hi? But like, you know, I didn't.
Wow.
They were talking to each other and like broing out. I didn't want to ruin that for them.
Yeah, some crazed fan.
I know, just be like, hi, I really like your things. The things that come out of your head are fun. And they'd be like, security?
You're like, I got a podcast and we talked about your book. They're like, oh god, another one?
Yeah.
So what would you give this book?
I give it a either a Ben 10 or a Kate 8. I'd really want to give it a 9, but I don't have anything a human name that rhymes with 9.
I'd give it a Scary Mary out of Terry.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'd also give it a Scary Mary. I think I think this was a good book to wrap up our Halloween spectacular of comics.
I think so too. It's probably the darkest of the three that we've done.
It probably is. I mean, Something is Killing the Children has a lot of children getting murdered.
Yeah, but in terms of like the
horror.
actual feel of the book,
yeah,
like parts of that book seem a little bit not goofy necessarily, but it's hard to explain.
I feel like that book is a little more action based.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even down to the art in this book.
True.
It's very gritty.
It is.
And dark.
Like you're like you open up to any page, like this deer
There's,
just
like,
biting
blood
its
and-
own tongue is
yeah.
just horrifying to look at. Like, there's a lot of art in this book that is just like, oh, I don't want to look at that, but I can't stop looking at it.
And I read this, it would give me nightmares.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, this is a scary book. The covers are awesome too. I like the covers a lot. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed our Halloween spectacular of books.
It's the same thing, just slightly scarier books.
I know. And we did all independent books. All Image. I don't remember what Something Was Killing the Children is. It might have been Boom.
It was Image. Yeah, it was. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Explosion Comics.
Yeah.
Blast Comics.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that we did all independent stuff because I was struggling trying to figure out what to do, whether it was like Long Halloween or Marvel Zombies or Batman Haunted Night. But I was like, you know what? Let's just talk about Wytches. I don't know when else I would do it.
Maybe next Halloween we'll have a Halloween of Batman or something.
We could. It'll be the longest Halloween.
Yeah, the long Halloween.
Long Halloween. Where we talk about like an issue per week.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Off the Shelf Podcast, Spooky, Scary Halloween Edition.
I'm so scared.
Vinny, do you want to plug your TikTok?
Yeah, you can find me at Bean Off the Shelf on TikTok, where I post comic-related, comic book, movie, and TV show-related videos on a regular basis. Most of the time.
Silly little videos to waste your time with.
Exactly.
If you like comics and you like Vinny, go check him out on there.
Yes.
They are, as far as I know, are not Halloween-based, so you will have to wait until November to watch his TikToks.
Yeah. Yeah. None of them are Halloween based.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe you'll get to some.
I don't know.
Then
we'll
you can
see.
watch those.
Yeah.
But until then, just skip him for now.
No.
Follow him, just don't watch any of his videos.
That's fine. Save them for later.
Yeah. We got plenty of episodes up on Spotify and YouTube, which you probably know if you're listening to this right now.
Yeah, you're using one of them.
Yep. So listen to more of those if you want. If you like our stuff, we really appreciate all the support we've gotten. We've actually just started monetizing because we've got enough viewers.
Yeah.
Which is neat. Makes you feel like maybe this is going somewhere.
I don't know. I feel like it's going somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even if it's not, I get to hang out with you and just talk about nonsense.
Honestly, some of the best parts of my week.
I know. There's nothing I love more than doing like working all day.
Oh, yeah.
And then seeing your face, and then just like hearing the nonsense that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah, I love that too. That's why I go home from work and just look in the mirror and ask myself stupid questions. Well, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. We might have one more.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Probably.
Yeah.
We're going to film it right now.
Yeah.
So we will. Stay tuned for that.
Yes.
And we love you.
We love you so much.
Good night. Good night, San Francisco. But nobody else.
Stay awake.
Texas, you better not fall asleep. I swear to God.
Nightmare, nightmare, nightmare.
If you're listening to this to fall asleep.
We're watching you. Yeah.
Alright. We gotta stop it. We gotta stop the episode.
Stop. We're fired.
Yeah. HR is gonna come in and fire us.
We are HR.
Yeah, we're the judge and the jury.
Yeah.